Mindset, the inner shift that changes everything. Inspired by the teachings of Carol S. Dweck. There comes a moment in every person's life when they look around and realize that what truly holds them back is not the world, not luck, not circumstance, but belief. The way you see yourself becomes the boundary of your potential. It is not talent or intelligence or luck that defines your path, it is your mindset. Carol Dweck's timeless message is deceptively simple. The way you think about growth determines how far you can go. There are two ways to live: believing your abilities are fixed, or believing they can evolve. This difference, invisible yet immense, is the line between limitation and liberation. The fixed mindset whispers, "You are what you are. You were born with certain gifts, and that's all you'll ever have." It clings to perfection, avoids failure, and fears change. It makes praise into pressure and mistakes into shame. The growth mindset, on the other hand, speaks a different language, the language of becoming. It says, you are not finished. You can grow, you can learn, you can change. It welcomes failure as feedback, effort as sacred, and challenge as the birthplace of strength. When you live in this mindset, life ceases to be a test, it becomes a classroom. Every obstacle transforms into an opportunity to evolve. Every setback becomes a teacher, and every small step forward becomes proof that growth is infinite. Dweck discovered that most people move through life unaware that they live inside one of these mindsets. They call some people talented or gifted and assume success is fate. But the truth is, greatness is grown, cultivated through perseverance, patience, and an open heart. In a fixed mindset, effort feels like weakness. In a growth mindset, effort is love in motion. The fixed mind seeks to prove itself. The growth mind seeks to improve itself. You see, it's not about being the best, it's about becoming better. You were not born to protect your image. You were born to expand your being. When you understand this, failure loses its sting. You stop judging yourself for where you are and begin honoring yourself for moving forward. You learn that mastery is not a destination, it's a devotion. Growth is not linear, it's alive. It bends, it pauses, it asks for your patience. But every time you try, learn, and rise again, you are re-sculpting the architecture of your mind. In truth, you are never bad at something. You are simply not yet good at it. The words "not yet" are among the most powerful in the world. They replace shame with curiosity, defeat with persistence, fear with faith. Every great artist, athlete, and thinker has lived by them. They understood that genius is not lightning from the heavens, it's the spark that catches fire after years of friction. The fixed mind waits for inspiration, the growth mind creates it. When you believe you can grow, you release yourself from the prison of perfection. You stop asking, "Am I good enough?" and start asking, "How can I get better?" And that one shift, that sacred internal turn, changes everything. Growth begins in the quiet spaces of awareness. It begins when you notice your inner voice, the one that says, "I can't, I failed," or "I'm not meant for this." You start listening to it not as truth but as training. You challenge it. You ask, "What if I tried one more time?" That moment of question is the seed of transformation. It is where limitation begins to crumble and life begins to open. Dweck reminds you that the brain itself is not fixed. It's elastic, adaptable, miraculous. Every thought, every repetition, every moment of persistence changes its wiring. You are literally shaping your mind through your effort. Your brain is not a container of talent, it is a muscle of potential. You are never too late to grow. You are never too far gone to learn. You are never too old to begin again. When you stop identifying with results you start falling in love with progress. When you stop fearing mistakes, you start finding your power. And when you stop needing to be right, you start becoming real. The growth mindset is not about optimism, it's about truth. The truth that you are always in motion, always evolving. You are a masterpiece still being painted, a song still being written. This mindset extends beyond learning. It transforms relationships, work, parenting, love. When you see others through the same lens of growth, judgment turns into compassion. You stop labeling people as good or bad and start seeing them as becoming. You stop measuring and start mentoring. You stop comparing and start connecting. The growth mindset invites you to release control, to let others grow in their own time, just as you are growing in yours. This is not just a philosophy of success, it's a way of loving the world. It says, we are all unfinished miracles, unfolding in divine time. When you choose this way of seeing, even failure becomes sacred. You begin to understand that setbacks are not punishments, they are portals. They invite you to stretch, to deepen, to strengthen. Nothing is wasted, no effort is ever in vain. Each struggle adds texture to your wisdom, and each attempt is a step toward mastery. You no longer chase validation, you chase growth. You no longer fear judgment, you trust your process. And slowly, life shifts, not because the world changed, but because your perception did. You start to see success not as reaching a peak, but as learning to climb with joy. You stop looking for applause and start listening for lessons. You realize that the purpose of life is not to prove your worth. It is to express it, expand it, and share it. Every time you fall and rise again, you are teaching your soul resilience. Every time you struggle with humility, you are awakening wisdom. Every time you grow, you are becoming more of what you already are, capable, creative, infinite. Carol Dweck's message is both scientific and spiritual. You are never finished. The mind is designed to evolve, and the soul, the deepest part of you, thrives on the journey of becoming. To live with a growth mindset is to live in reverence to possibility. It is to wake each morning with the question, what might I learn today? It is to treat every challenge as sacred practice. And it is to honor yourself not for perfection, but for participation in the miracle of progress. You are not meant to be flawless. You are meant to be fearless in the pursuit of growth. When you live this truth, life transforms from something to endure into something to explore. You stop waiting for success and start embodying it, not as a destination, but as a way of being. You are the sculptor, the clay, and the hand that shapes both. Every thought, every effort, every lesson is another brushstroke in the masterpiece of your becoming. And so, the invitation of mindset is simple and profound. To see yourself not as finished, but as forever unfolding. A living work of art in motion, becoming, learning, expanding, every single day.